Welcome to Finding Monster Rights, show about finding monsters, right?
Right.
My name is Adam.
And we're back. We're the pod behind the cast. And we're out of control. We're back. We're doing a Friday the 13th episode on Friday the 13th.
If you can believe that nonsense.
Now, Adam, I know what you're going to say.
Yeah. Oh, do you now?
Yeah. It's Thursday, June 25th. How can it be Friday the 13th? Well, let me tell you. I've taken some precautionary measures against this question that I thought you might ask, but your air conditioning is broken, and you said you were just having a busy day and you didn't have time for my shit. So...
That's way meaner than what I said.
I'm way meaner than you.
Okay, that's fair. But I am getting some real, Camp Crystal-like vibes from my apartment right now. Just with the, I feel like I'm out in the middle of nowhere. Away from civilization and the technology of our day.
Yeah, I live in the suburbs too. So, what I've done is I have looked up the Mayan calendar, and wouldn't you know, today is the 13th day of the month of Kiab. That makes it the 13th, but it's still Thursday. So what I did is I made myself a cheeseburger. And I taped a bunch of shit to my walls. Do you know why I've done this, Adam?
I do not know why.
Because, Elema, now technically, the room where I record is a TGI Fridays. And in here, it is always Friday. Therefore, I have made it Friday the 13th.
I thought
Okay.
I thought the weirdest discovery was going to be that I'm Slender Man of last week. But the conversion.
No, we decanonized that. That's very important that we decanonize that.
The fact, the realization that you've altered your recording space into a TGI Fridays is, I was not ready for that.
One of the many things I've taped to my wall is the Jason Voorhees mask that I had when I dressed up as Freyson Vorkrug's freshman year. Right.
Speaking of which, hey, the topic of this week is Scoutmaster Voorhees. Would Jason be a good Cub Scout leader?
Would Jason be a good Cub Scout leader?
You know Jason, right? You knew Jason even as a freshman in college.
I did know a Jason. It wasn't the same Jason, but he was as much of a psychopath.
Yeah, he wears the mask, gets the machete, and hurts... doesn't hurt, kill. Teens practicing the no-nos with each other.
Well, I've done little bit...
Hang on, we're explicit on Apple Podcasts. I don't know why I'm doing this like song and dance right now.
Your brain has melted.
Yeah, I think the NCAA has some involvement right now with my brain.
The NCAA?
Yes.
The National Collegiate Athletics Association?
Is that what it is?
Yeah, I think you might mean the MPAA.
Ah, the MPAA.
Oh god, I can't talk through this mask. It's really hot and sweaty under here also. That's a fact that people can't relate to, huh?
Right. So yes, we want to take
It's the sweat behind the mask. Sorry.
We want to take a look at the antagonist of the Friday the 13th films.
Or protagonist.
Yeah, I guess so.
Because think about it.
Yeah, he's the one you root for.
Which is weird to me. I watched Freddy vs. Jason because I started watching it once in college, probably when I was dressed as Freyson Vorkrug's, a combination of Jason Voorhees and Freddy Krueger.
And you were watching it and you said, Dads?
Dads, listen, stop fighting. Well, no, I started watching it and never finished it, and upon rewatching it, I kind of figured out why. Like, the slasher genre is just not for me. And I figured this out watching the Cinemassacre reviews of all of them, because I did not watch all of the Friday the 13th movies. But Because I did that for Kong, but I'm not doing it for this one. And they're supposed to be, like, scary and also kind of funny, but what I got was they were just sad and kind of gross.
Yeah, especially Friday vs. Jason. Whenever I think of images from that movie, it's real slick.
There's, like, these scenes of these teens, like, comforting each other because their friends are dead, and there's just, like, little tiny shots of a little bit of blood that looks kind of fake, and then, like, it cuts away to something else because the MPAA won't let them show blood, which, like, they're already watching a horror movie. Just show them all the blood. All the special effects they want to do.
Right. So this mad murder of the woods...
damn it, we're still in the woods.
Yeah. This mad murder of the woods, of the lake, in various incarnations, is frequently spotted at Camp Crystal Lake, and he has he has an interesting relationship with the clientele there.
Yes. So, as a child, Jason was a deformed little Jason, and he was picked on and teased, and eventually a mob of 50s children just chased him into a lake. And at least that's what it is in Freddy vs. Jason. It might have been different in some other incarnations, but
yes, that history has changed over the years. But that's the nut of it. That's the core.
Well, the very core is that the camp counselors were supposed to be watching him, but they were too busy having sex somewhere because they were horny teens, and so they let him drown. And so when he came back to life as, like, first this crazy woods monster, and then later kind of a zombie, or a Frankenstein, or a revenant. I think in D&D terms, he's definitely a revenant. I really want to... I need to make that encounter. But anyway, I'm getting distracted. That explains why he's got that instinct to punish Cali fornication.
Absolutely. Which leads you to the obvious connection that he would be the ideal person to take up the role of a scout leader.
Right, exactly. Because, like, what are the Boy Scouts of America if not sex positive? Just kidding, they're not. That's why Jason would be great at it.
Yes, there's definitely a Venn diagram there.
Dude, I told my mom about, like, my mom and I were just talking, and she asked, like, what the podcast was going to be about, and I told her that basic premise, and she was like, oh. And I was like, yeah, I don't really like these movies that much either. I mean, I love them, they're my favorite. Don't come at me. Don't cancel me over Friday the 13th. But I said, like, and that's why he just, like, goes after people that have sex or do drugs or drink, you know, like a priest might. And she was like, huh, so is he good for us or bad for us? And I was like, that's super not the question you should be asking.
Yeah, so...
like, the priest joke was a little off color, but then, like, what a weird take.
Yeah, there's definitely a Venn diagram between the two, and in the middle is something I'll today call no.
Add a couple more no's, bud.
Yeah, continuous no's. But I do recall from my time as a young scout that there is a scout law.
Scout law?
Yeah, a series of adjectives that a scout aspires to be described as.
Let's make a distinction here between summer camp and scouts. There is a difference, and so that's why we think that this change of career isn't very big, but it's enough of a difference that maybe Jason will flourish like a beautiful dead flower.
Yeah, this might be a Jason that kind of turns his life around.
Yeah.
This is a Jason that finds something else to do.
Exactly.
Like a little more dimensional Jason.
That is something that I thought of when I was watching this. Like, what's your end game? Like, what does Jason want? I don't know. Once in a while, like, frequently he does kill, like, adults or just people bystanders, people that are just in the woods. And I think the punishment is really being in the woods and the sex stuff is just gravy. You know, the hardest insect to capture is a dragonfly, in my experience. And in my entomology class, I only ever caught 2 dragonflies, and it was simultaneously. So I can speak with some authority and say that it is definitely easier to hunt things that are fucking versus not. So maybe this is just like an odds thing, you know?
Yeah, he's a predator of sorts and is very territorial, I imagine.
Mm-hmm.
Unless he hitches a ride to Manhattan.
Right. Oh god, that movie seemed bad. I didn't even watch that one. I only watched I watched Freddy vs. Jason, and I watched part 4.
Yeah, the review of that is that it takes him an hour to get there, of an hour and a half movie.
That's, yeah.
And they only can film in Manhattan for like 2 days because it's expensive. But okay, so back to the Scout Law.
Yes.
I really want to go over these like one by one. But first, do you want to go through the whole list, them all, or just tackle each at a time?
No, well, how many are there?
12.
Oh, can we add just one more, please?
Yes, there is the standard Scout motto of I did my best.
I did my best. That's definitely Jason's joie de vivre.
Yes.
Joie de unvive.
Let's tackle that first. Yeah, he, no matter what, he does one thing, and he does his best every time.
Yep.
He doesn't skip out. So that one's absolutely taken care of. And I'd like to examine these 13 points to see how well he scores. So here's the list. A scout is trustworthy, loyal, helpful, friendly, courteous, kind, obedient, cheerful, thrifty, brave, clean, and reverent.
What a weird list. And also, is that one rule or all of them? Because if it's just the one, I'm going to walk the fuck out of here.
That's all. Those are the 12 features of a scout.
Okay, good. I was about to fold you up into a folding bed that's inexplicably in a bedroom for some reason.
What I hate is that I remember having to memorize this, and there's no rhyme. There's no iambic pentameter at work here. It's not alphabetical.
There's no acronym you could make out of it.
No, they're just a real minefield of sounds and mouth movements.
I mean, isn't that everything that we teach to kids under 12 or so?
I suppose. So first off, here we go. First,
having been a camp counselor.
Oh, right.
And unfortunately not having sex while a child died. I can say that everything we teach to children is garbage. All right, go ahead.
Well, on that note, trustworthy. Tells the truth, is honest, keeps his promises.
I mean, he doesn't talk. So, in a way, he never lies.
Doesn't lie. Yeah.
But then again, you can rely on him to... They always kind of have a pretty good understanding of what he's going to do next. Because it's probably stab.
I guess oftentimes movies will end with some kind of twist ending or some change him up. But even so, I wouldn't call that's not Jason's work. Jason just does what he does, and the world will do something different around him.
No, Jason's a force. Jason's not really much of a character.
Yes, he is definitely reliable. And trustworthy. All right. Easy enough. Loyal.
Loyal.
Now, at a bird's eye view, this looks like the same as trustworthy.
No, I think loyal means that you will, bend the knee to authority figures, and trustworthy is, if trustworthy is good... Trustworthy is loyal without authority.
Yes, trustworthy is kind of in general. Loyal, I think, is a little more personal.
Yeah. So, Is Jason loyal? I would argue yes.
Oh, really? I'm thinking no on this one. But please, I want to hear your reasoning first.
Well, he's loyal to his mom and his mom's head.
Oh, that's a good point. Loyal is that he doesn't form personal relationships very frequently.
No, but I think the nature of authority is that it has to be impersonal. Why do I keep fucking doing this, where I just drop, like, something like that into the middle of our goofball thing?
I don't. In the middle of our goofball podcasts.
Why the hell? Why? Maybe it's just my way of taking it seriously. I don't know.
Well, hang on I'm reading this from a kind of a boyscouttrail.com. And they have little paragraphs about each one. This one,
I'm so glad the actual Boy Scouts managed to snag that URL.
Yes,
not Robert right. W. Morgan.
Oh yeah, he had his own scouting counter.
But go check out episode 11. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, no, it's 11.
Yeah, so the quote here is that scouts need to be loyal to the laws of our country and the people that represent those laws.
Oh. So
the fact
scouts,
that he
I got
murders,
bad news for y'all.
Yeah, the killing violently part is probably not loyal.
That part is true. He does stab people pretty bad, and he isn't a cop, so yeah, no, that's illegal.
Yeah, trustworthy is one thing, but like against the law, yeah.
I mean, if that's how you're defining loyalty, then he definitely is not loyal. Completely fair.
Right. So all right, we're 1 for 1 on them. Helpful.
Helpful. Well, no. He just kind of murders people for no reason. I don't really think that helps anyone or anything.
Well, okay. I'm remembering all the micro scenarios I recall from this past situation, and if he's ever gotten anyone like out of trouble, has a Jason murder ever like gone good for someone? Like their landlord wanted them to like pay rent, and was like violently chasing them, but then they went to the woods and Jason's there, has their back.
No, he doesn't really do comeuppance. The one example I can remember from Freddy vs. Jason, I didn't really pay attention to part 4 that much, the final chapter, but the one example I can remember is my favorite character from that movie, Gib, whose like boyfriend is an asshole, and after she finishes having sex with him, she goes to take a shower, and then Jason comes and folds him into a folding bed that's inexplicably in a bedroom, which... not where you put a folding bed, but okay. And, like, she's very sad, but her boyfriend really was a jerk. And then later, Freddy Krueger puts her to sleep in a cornfield, and some guy covered in glow sticks starts to try and rape her, and then Jason stabs them both, and they both die. And that's... so...
Yeah,
I guess no.
Not really at all. He's very self-centered.
Kind of a double-edged sword, which is funny because Jason doesn't have a double-edged sword.
He has... Yeah, he'll kill the bad guys, and you.
And...
because he kills.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's kind of like... It is kind of like death in that way. He comes for us all... And Death also wears a hockey mask.
Also, his relationship with his mother is not very... like, he goes from boy to, avenger, in a way. It's not really... You don't see him, like... There's been no moments of him, like, doing chores. Or helping out around the house.
No. Well, he did make her head, like, an object of a shrine.
Yeah, but that doesn't seem...
That's helpful.
It's honor, it's reverence, which let's circle back on that.
Yeah, we'll get back to that.
But okay, not helpful. Friendly.
No. Friendly. I'm gonna go with no, specifically for a moment in Jason Takes Manhattan, where he's walking past some youths that have a boombox, and he just knocks it over, and keeps walking past. That's very unfriendly. I don't know.
Really?
That's the one.
Yeah, he won't, like... You can't, like, have a beer with him on your front porch.
No. I don't know if he can eat.
You're right, the hockey mask doesn't have, like, a mouth part to it, does it?
No, that'd be really funny if it did. Just like, blah, blah, blah.
I like to see Jason with a bunch of straws in the little like air holes.
Oh man, that'd be if
maybe
they weren't straws and they were like some kind of tentacle thing. That would be really scary.
Yeah, but maybe if he wasn't in Manhattan for more than like a half hour, then he'd get like you go to like a bar, get an order, just a bunch of little tendril straws.
That'd be like he orders a beer and like tries to drink it and it doesn't really work. And then the bartender just like shakily puts like a little bendy straw in there. And he's just like
And you know what I think? I think it'd be a sports bar. Because of the more I look at Jason, the more I realize that he is definitely a sports fan.
He does have a hockey mask.
Mm-hmm. That is what I'm judging him on. Yes.
And is there another reason, or like, is it just that one?
No, I just want to keep that in mind. I feel like it might come up soon.
Okay, I thought there was like one where maybe Jason plays basketball. Like
yeah.
Jason versus the Harlem Globetrotters or something.
Oh man, do you think the what's the enemy team called?
The Washington Capitals, I think. Washington Nationals
Generals.
is a real Generals. Okay,
Washington Generals. Which I'd like to see Jason on the Generals.
I've typed in Washington Capital into Google as if that was going to find what I was looking for.
No.
Gee. Huh.
So
did you know there's a whole city?
You don't say.
It's the dangdest thing. Oh wait, we're explicit. It's the darndest thing.
A whole district, after all?
Huh, a whole district named after Columbia, a real monster.
So,
right.
The Washington Generals, I'd love to see Jason on their team because I think he's just as like tricky and nefarious. Like he'll shine the spotlight in people's eyes and pop the basketball with his machete.
Now, are those on the list? Tricky and nefarious?
No, I don't think scouts aspire to either of those.
See, that's how you really survive in the woods, is trickery and nefarity.
Mm-hmm.
That's how you beat a snake, is you just, like, tie its shoelaces together. Of all the animals, jeez.
Yeah, no. Okay.
Really screwed that one up.
So, I feel like we were just on the opposite side of this one, but a scout is courteous.
Oh, no.
Polite to everyone, regardless of their age or position.
But not race or gender identity.
Does not seem on here. No, it's just ageist.
Huh. Alright, okay. Respect us elders. That's it.
Oh, no, they get into it down here.
Good.
That's a young girl, an old stooped woman, a rich businessman, or a school janitor.
Tag yourself. I'm the bent over old woman. See, when you turn 11, you get to put on this hat, and it talks to you, and you can pick one of 4 kinds of human being. You can be little girl, old lady, principal, or janitor.
Rich businessman or janitor.
Rich businessman or janitor.
Which, hang on a
Where
second
did I get principal
here.
From?
That I want to say, okay, Ravenclaw, Slytherin, Gryffindor, and Hufflepuff.
Okay, which one is which?
Sorry, young girl is the Ravenclaw. Stooped woman is the Slytherin. Rich businessman is the Gryffindor, and janitor is the Hufflepuff.
I would absolutely say rich businessman is the Slytherin.
You're correct, but there's no hero in this story. I guess the young girl.
The young girl is like, she's the Luke Skywalker, like Katniss, like she comes from a simple place, and she needs to go to the big fancy place and murder some fascists.
That's fair.
And the old lady has wisdom, so she can be Ravenclaw.
Yeah, better call.
Yeah, better call. All right. Nah. Hey,
okay.
What if I just said the name of a show? Is that a joke?
I'm putting my foot down. We cannot let another bit pass. Next time. Next time it slips out of our fingers, we have to grab a hold of it like Jason might. Like the Jason series is slipping away from us, and we're like, no, we have to make 3 more.
Oh man, remember when he went to space? That was great.
Yeah.
I've seen that one. I saw that one before. Just out of the random, we watched that one.
Very different for sure. But that's good that it's different. Do you remember any other characteristics of Jason that haven't been expressed in these other movies?
Yeah, no, there are none.
Okay. He's just still like...
There are no characteristics of Jason.
Still immortal, still kind of angry. Courteous, polite. Again, the radio is very...
Wait. Are you saying that courteous and polite are 2 different ones?
No, I'm saying that that's a synonym.
Oh, okay, good.
But yes, it's like,
my
he's
opinion
not like
is very dim of this list.
Jason's not a... there are some very similar ones. We'll get to that in a second here. But yeah, Jason's not really a gentleman. He won't, like, open a door for someone.
No, he's more of like a stab monster. I can't think of a single one where he's, like, jokingly, like, held the door open for someone. Like, he gets, like, a scene where he's in, like, Manhattan or wherever, and, like, he gets caught holding the door open for, like, a stream of a bunch of people.
Yeah, no, it would be more like he opens the door or hides behind a door and slams someone, like, between the door and the frame.
Yeah.
So, yeah, not
real
courteous.
Real funny jokes.
Well, all right, a scout is kind.
That's not a character trait. Y'all, they taught me this in, like, 1st grade reading class. Yeah. Nice, kind, and good are not character traits.
Yeah, you have the teacher that put, like, gravestones of those words up on the wall.
What? No. That's a little far.
I think my 3rd grade teacher, in an attempt to teach us to not use such kind of basic adjectives as nice and kind, crafted some, like, gravestones with the word nice and the word kind on them and hung them, like, from the ceiling.
Oh my god. Like, that is... I mean, yes, I too went to Catholic school, but... Oh my god. Well, also, like, we're talking about protagonists of, like, 10-page stories that 8-year-olds read in class. Like, they're not gonna have a lot of character traits besides nice, kind, and good.
Yeah, I agree with the grammatical lesson. I think the delivery was poor.
You don't say. Hanging a headstone is a bad way to communicate a message to 7-year-olds and 8-year-olds.
Every time I go into my 3rd grade class, I see a tombstone with the word nice on it. Yeah, really.
Okay. Wow. I think Common Core might be okay after all.
However, so here's a line from this. Kindness should be first practiced by a scout in his own home. It can be a difficult challenge to show kindness to those in your family, but you should, is I think the rest of the paragraph. So, he does show kindness to people in his family first.
Yes. Ignoring some of the implications of that. Yeah.
Yeah, he's on good terms with, let's see, an enemy can also be shown kindness.
Okay, well, I got bad news vis-a-vis that.
And again, random acts of kindness.
Random acts of killing, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, the exact opposite of random acts of kindness. So, believe it or not, I don't think Jason Voorhees is a good Scoutmaster. I feel like we've almost walked ourselves in a corner here.
Well, hold on. We've been doing it all wrong. We're seeing if he would be a good scout.
Mm-hmm.
Not a good scout leader.
Yep. I mean, these aspects should apply to a scout leader.
Ideally, yes, but do we really think the Cub Scouts is an ideally run organization? Do you really think that hierarchy has absolutely no problems whatsoever?
No, I think that he, yes, so, but maybe we should look at more like, enforcing kindness.
Ooh,
which
okay.
I still think we might be a strikeout on this topic.
No, because here's the thing. He doesn't normally, like, if, like, your landlord is being a jerk and, like, the landlord goes out to the woods to pee, I guess, then Jason doesn't stab the landlord. Like, that sort of thing doesn't happen. But
Right.
I think if, like, a kid in Cub Scouts is getting bullied, those bullies are not going to survive.
Yeah,
because that is the reason why Jason is like how he is, though.
Absolutely. That's these are so overlapping because I'm looking at this now and I'm like, oh yeah, so he was helpful towards that scout. Oh no, I mean he was friendly towards that scout. Oh no, I mean he was courteous and just. Yes, I wouldn't call him kind. I don't think that's the one that can turn his way. But I like the attitude, like the power of positive thinking. Because this next one, obedient.
Obedient. Well, okay. Where is he getting his orders from? Because his mom never said, "Hey, kill everyone."
Correct. He is kind of a loose cannon on that front, and he doesn't obey laws.
No.
And he doesn't obey the rules of his own, like, mythology. That's
pretty inconsistent, yeah.
So I think 3 strikes and obedience out. Let's move along here. Oh, okay.
But does he obey the will of God?
Once again, we'll get down to reverent for that.
Okay.
Cheerful.
No. Wait a minute. Why is that value? That's not a value. Cheerful isn't good.
A scout looks for the bright side of life.
Like, okay, but, like, what if, like, someone gets murdered in front of you and you just have a big old smile because you're a Cub Scout? Like, cheerful is not... It's not bad to be upset.
Reading through this, it seems like it's a long way of... It's saying, like, being positive.
Well, okay, but what if a negative thing is happening to you?
Mm-hmm.
That's such a weird standard to hold kids to. I don't know. It seems like they're trying to fix depression through, like, rules that you have to follow.
I do want to say that, especially in some of the later movies, Jason gets very, very happy about some of his kills and gets real into it.
Okay.
For doing only one thing, he doesn't, like, he's not like the same, like, kind of Michael Myers, like, sad and grim. I see a glee from him when he's accomplishing these kills.
I guess we can't really tell if under the mask he's got a big old smile or not. So I guess I can't knock him for not being cheerful. I mean, you don't knock a dead body in a sleeping bag against a tree, like, 7 times without having the time of your life.
Yeah, he didn't have to do that. Like, all his, like, creative kills and stuff like that. It's not... He does it for the fun of it.
He went above and beyond.
Mm-hmm. So, definitely cheerful.
Okay, I think that's our first unambiguous green check.
We had a couple early on that he was trustworthy and loyal.
Oh, right. I can't remember our own goddamn episode. That
happened moments ago. I should have a live, like, document so you see what I'm marking down.
No. This is what happens when I stop taking it seriously with all of my, like, deep quotes about the nature of power.
Okay, so we have definitely marked him down as cheerful. Thrifty.
I've never seen him spend a dime. I don't know about you. I think he's pretty thrifty.
Yeah, he does not. He uses everything in his environment. He, you know, he definitely. What's that one model that you have about campsites? Like, leave only footprints.
Take nothing but pictures, leave nothing but corpses. I mean, footprints. Oh, wait a minute. He doesn't really. Well, okay. Environmental degradation is not one of the Cub Scout rules, so I guess that's fair.
No.
I'm pretty sure a corpse is definitely polluting. That's pretty much the worst polluting you can do, really. We're gonna nail him for littering.
But, you know, Ambulances arrive, they cart people away. What he really does is, like, he doesn't, as you said, doesn't spend a dime. Whatever he'll use whatever he finds near him.
No, he built that house for himself out of just, like, metal that he found.
Yeah. He lives in, like, the lake.
Well, he doesn't live in the lake. He does not live in the lake. He lives in the woods by the lake, and he just winds up in the lake dead at the end of every movie, and then he comes back at the beginning of the next movie.
With Excalibur. Right.
Yeah, with Excalibur. Oh, man.
That's a pretty good crossover.
He does go into a lake with a sword at the end of every movie. Is that on purpose?
Usually after sustaining some kind of bladed wound, right? Not every time.
And he comes back in the time of Britain's greatest need with 8 other monsters, so I guess that's right.
Yeah, but he... absolutely, this is like... I see him as a thrifty figure.
Here's another question. Why is thrifty one of the values? Like, what boomer nonsense is this?
That's...
Thriftiness. Like, that's not as good as being kind.
Yeah,
like,
being
also thrifty is not charitable.
It's like effective with money and cooking gear and stuff like that.
That's not.
Yeah, it's definitely the black sheep of this list.
That's not that's just very capitalist. That's not charitable or like generous or like hedonistic or anything. It's just hedonism you could speak against. Okay, sure. But the opposite of hedonistic is not thrifty, because that's just, like, save as much money as possible, and that's just hedonism in another way.
This next one is undeniably Scouty. You can just hang a hat on this. Brave.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would call that generally a positive thing to aspire to be.
Well, I mean, terrorists are brave.
Okay. I think the Man of Deep Quotes is just... it lives in a world of advocating devils.
Who is the Man of Deep Quotes, even? Like, what ghost or creature is possessing me?
Well, not Jason, of course.
Maybe it is.
He's a man of deep, but not a man of quotes.
Maybe it is. He can't talk, so he talks through other people. There was a whole movie kind of similar to that, come to think of it.
Where he just possesses other people.
That does happen.
Yeah. So, Brave. Absolutely, Jason has no fear.
Jason doesn't even afraid of anything.
Jason never ever scared you.
Jason never ever scary. Jason doesn't even ever afraid of anything. No, I think that's fair. He's also kind of a terrorist, so I guess he checks off this on the Cub Scout list.
Yep, so...
he's like a terrorist without a cause. One of the least successful films of all time.
That was the poorly received sequel to the one Harrison Ford president plane movie. My brain is magma. I don't know. I think it's my lack of AC, but my interior organs are just turning into mush.
Oh, God. Well, I mean, if you want, I can come over to your house and jab a piece of wrought iron fencing into your chest and wait for lightning.
Yeah, that'll usually pick me right back up.
It's like that or coffee, depends on the day, you know?
Okay, joining the thrifty end of the spectrum.
Oh boy.
Scout is clean. Clean.
That's such a weird... Clean child, yes, good. Clean children taste better. Like...
there's an environmental message in here. About, clean your environment. Okay. And stuff like that.
I love the non-originalist, reading of the Cub Scout rules that they've clearly put in later.
Yeah, they really expanded upon this lore.
Clean counts as environmentally friendly. That's... I don't know about that.
Listen to this. The term filthy liar is spot on correct. And they talk about that a bit more. It just... Back to we've already talked about lying and honesty and all that.
You're just making it more similar to the other ones.
Yeah, it's why are there 12 of these? If you can just have one. A scout is good.
A scout is nice, kind, and good, and dead on a tombstone because of Jason.
Yeah.
Adam's third grade teacher, Jason Voorhees.
But yeah, they keep
Sister
their gear
Jason Voorhees, because Catholic school.
Mm-hmm. They keep their gear clean. They keep honorable jobs. This
has nothing to do with cleanliness anymore. I thought this was just like a scout is always covered in soap and butter. Like, butter's not clean. Why do I think butter is clean? That makes no sense.
Butter's the opposite of clean.
No. Oh man, I made this great bagel melt this morning for breakfast. That thought crossed my mind, and it went into the "you should say that" pile. And I was like, why? And then I was like, no, let's talk about how I thought that was an appropriate thing to talk about right now.
Jason, clean?
No,
not even a little bit.
Not even remotely. He is a pile of worms.
Hang on, he ends every movie back in the lake, though.
I think that counts as littering with his own corpse. I don't know.
You're right. It's a big mess that he indulges in.
No, he just leaves a bunch of bodies in the woods for the authorities to pick up, and then he throws himself into the lake. The ultimate final act of littering. Like some cartoon villain whose crime is littering. The killing joke for him is just like, there's only one more way I can litter. I've littered everything except one. Stab, lake.
Throws himself away. That's... Yeah.
There's only one more thing I can throw away. My life.
My ambitions.
Byronic littering. Okay.
So back to disgracing the world with his corpse at the end.
My air conditioning's working just fine. I'm just getting contact brain melts.
Yeah. Reverent is the final one.
Well, I do think he follows the will of God pretty well, but like an angry Old Testament God that wants you to kill, like, the Acabites or something.
Yeah, we had that point earlier about premarital sex.
Mm-hmm.
So that's yeah, I could see a Jason who envisions himself as the hammer of God.
Oh, and he would have a hammer.
The machete of God.
That's so much cooler, can I just say?
Yeah, you're... The hammer of God is good at smashing, like, civilizations and stuff like that, but machete, like, that gets the point across.
Hammer of God sounds like some kind of alt-right website, and Machete of God just sounds as cool as hell.
Yeah, absolutely. Or like a terrorist sect. So that's a plus. We said the stuff about his mom taking care of was very reverent.
His knees weak, arms are heavy, there's blood on his sweater already. God's machete.
Very good.
Thanks.
But yeah, no, he's definitely wields the might of an angry god. So I can't call that anything but reverent.
I'm adding that to the to this D&D character I'm making of him now.
Okay. Well,
that's our list.
That's the list. Jason does his best.
Mm-hmm.
Trustworthy.
Mm-hmm.
He's reverent. He's brave, thrifty, and cheerful.
Wait, how many is that?
That is 5. I'm sorry, 6.
That's most of them.
6 out of 7 is like is on the downside of half.
That's more than half.
Oh yeah, he sure is a Scoutmaster, ain't he?
Well, okay, no, this didn't work. But I have a better idea.
Oh, do you want to do a little game here?
A little game called Monster Rehab that we like to do sometimes, where we find out where this monster is going to go into society.
Absolutely. So, yeah, Scoutmaster's not the job for Jason, but what could be?
Probably not. Here's my pitch. Cop.
So...
Internal affairs.
Like inside the corpses?
No, No, like he's an internal affairs officer and he investigates police corruption. We just gotta tell him about all the other rules besides don't have sex when you're supposed to be watching the kids. That is a rule that he knows and he enforces with a machete. If we can tell him all of the codes of conduct for law enforcement officers, there will be not one misbehaving cop in this goddamn country.
Yeah, that's a very good call. Absolutely, yeah, he can definitely crack down there. He'll use whatever's at his disposal because he's thrifty. And that's
oh my god, these
brave...
ballooning police budgets are ridiculous. So I think thrifty is going to be incredibly useful.
Absolutely, and trustworthy too, because he's so trustworthy. That's exactly what we want from someone investigating corruption.
Yeah, and what are some of the ones that he is not?
He is not loyal. So
neither are the police.
Well, to get undercover and to kind of get buddy with some of the bad cops, it's good that you're not loyal to them.
Right? No, yeah, they would like that because they're disloyal.
Mm-hmm.
So the police he would be investigating would be the disloyal ones, so they would get along with other... Yeah.
He's not obedient. But... So...
I feel like we can... Look, he's not enforcing the rules because he loves the rules so much. He's enforcing the rules because he's angry. We just gotta get him mad about cops.
Okay, I see that. You're steering the thunderstorm.
Oh my god, I just remembered something.
Oh yeah?
Jason died in 1958, around the age of 10. Jason was born in 1948. Jason's a boomer. Oh my god. I'm scared of Jason Voorhees for the first time. How's that for your Friday the 13th reboot? Yeah, now I'm scared.
That explains his stance on premarital sex a lot.
Oh, it goes a long way.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Oh, wait. I wonder if he'll hate Nazis then.
All the better for internal affairs. So I think that's a much better position to him than mindless killer of the woods and lake.
Honestly, there aren't many positions that are worse, but I think maybe Cub Scout leader is one of them. I think we came pretty close to blowing it this week.
Well, look, we asked the question, would he? And the answer is no.
Yeah, in science, there's no such thing as a failed experiment. There's just a negative result. That's what I said when the goats ate the sign that was supposed to be standing up in the petting zoo. And that's what I'm saying now. Dumb metaphor. Take us away.
All right. To a very ironic place for Jason, the final rating place.
Oh, he'll be back.
Oh, yeah, there's nothing final about Jason. But I believe I kind of... The more we explored his one-dimensionality, I really want to give him a 6 out of 13. Like, kind of right below average.
Well, isn't that exactly what he got in the...
Yes, the whole episode was potentially a final rating place here.
I'm going to give him 7 out of 13.
Oh.
We didn't even talk about how good he would be at selling Girl Scout cookies. Because we made it specifically Cub Scouts.
Ding dong. Just standing there.
Like, oh boy, I can't eat any Thin Mints. I'll take 2. Thank you. Jason gets away with $20.
Now that's thrifty.
He's gonna get that merit badge. Then you can take the Thin Mints off the corpse and just sell them to the next blood-splattered house.
All right. Good job, Jason.
This is extremely thrifty.
We'll tune in next time where we go out of the woods and into the future where things are very dangerous.
I swear to God, we're getting out of the woods.
Most cryptids that we'll cover will be woods-based. Rest in peace. Nice and kind.